Alright, I'm going to start on the doors. And like I said before, I'm going to end up moving that thing out, having to make up some shims in here. I'm going to try that in order to get the bar out far enough for the window to go up and down, and to get this bar out far enough to where it hooks on to the door in the right spot without having to cut and modify these bars, hopefully. And then I saw on one of the forums I think I'm going to shave the handles in these things. So I saw on the forum a guy put the latch in here and then the striker in the door. I think I'm going to do that. So just kind of eyeballing that. And I have to cut this piece right here and end up welding a new bracket in to hold this latch, and then modify, make a bracket to go in there, which is going to bolt onto the door and also hold that striker. I went ahead and made a round piece of stock, welded it to a thick washer, and I got it centered and held in place by a screw right here. That's where my striker is going to go. And then this thing, I'm going to use the original plate, and I'm going to use vice grips, hold that where I want it, and then tack that to that piece I just made, and then go ahead and pull it out and finish welding it, and blow a hole through the middle of there. That way I can get my ratchet in there to tighten up the striker. And then once I get that in place, I'll know where this bar needs to move to, which is quite a ways. And there's my bracket. Got that piece welded in there, and I got room for a bolt. I have room to go in there and get it tight. And it's up here nice and tight up against the body of the door. So when I bolt that down, it's not going to move at all. It's going to be nice and tight. Should work pretty good. Now we got to get that bar out here somehow. Here's my bracket, the intrusion beam for the door, and I cut that out, notched it, cut down the welds, and I'm going to be able to move that thing hopefully in the right spot here. I got that tore apart, brought it out as far as I could, and now I have it mounted up on this side. Now I'm going to put it back on the car, start hanging stuff in there before I know exactly where I want to sit this thing, because it's still loose in there right now, so I can move it around. Hopefully there's enough room down in here for the glass. Well, I'm gaining on this door. I haven't got the intrusion beam welded yet. It's kind of sitting there, but I wanted everything else in there, get the weight on there, and make that part of my decision of where I want to put this thing. So I put the tracks in there for the window. First thing I did was put that one there through. Not much clearance to the body, so You sure don't want nothing sticking out right there. You got to pop the post, and I actually turned that back around and cut it the length I wanted. On the inside, and now that's adjustable because I had to bring that out quite a bit to sit where it needs, and I'm going to have to do the same thing with the top one. Instead of just a pop rivet right up against the body, I'm going to have to bring that out a bit, make it adjustable. And like I said, make the glass part of the build. And I'll probably end up hooking a bracket on here and making that part of the frame also. Tie that in. Next thing I'm going to do is get the rubber on here. Put felt up here, rubber down here, and get the striker in here. I found a different striker. This one's a lot more beefy. It's got the same size. It'll fit right in the latch. It's more length. It's got a nice washer around it, which is going to make it stronger. And it'll look better, I think. And then I'll hold that door up where I want it, get it tacked, welded in this position, get all that bolted, and then start getting the window to fit. First thing I'm going to do is make sure it fits in there with the door shut. So it lays all the way up against here. I got to figure out something here. Make my door line up and make this line up at the same time, because in the back you're going to have room for the glass to line up with. That's all got to go together. And once it's sitting in here good, then you got to worry about rolling it up and down. How far down it's going to go in. Any clearance issues. And we'll just go from there. Got that bar tacked into place now. So the door is solid. And I got the striker bolted on there. And so that gives me some adjustment still, because I can loosen these up and loosen up the striker, and I still have adjustment in my door. And then I started boring a hole in the post here for my latch. I cut this piece off, which would normally hold the striker, and I'm going to make a different piece which is going to hook behind this latch and weld it inside here, so I'll be able to remove that latch still with its normal bolting points, and it'll poke out through here, come in and latch. I got these seals on here. These might as well not even be here, because there's a lot more of a gap there, so they don't even touch. And I've got this felted seal up here. That's probably going to work pretty good. It does this thing back here, I'd like to do something with this eventually to give that a nice finished look back here. some attempt to seal it. So it's looking pretty good. I'll get the latch in there and make sure it shuts. And I'm going to end up putting some kind of a stopper either on the doors right here or on the body itself. I haven't decided. I was looking through my junk drawer. Found some of these. You just drill a little hole in there and then you screw it in. You can adjust it in and out. Got some bigger ones, some smaller ones, and I found some of these which I'll probably use on my hood somewhere. Clean those up, make them black again. They'll look good. So there's the bracket I made for the latch. It's going to go in here. Sit just like that. And then on the inside, I'll weld that up. And then I'll be able to unbolt that, take the latch out, service it if I need to, and then that will be a permanent spot to bolt that up to. And then I'll mount the door popper right back here onto this latch. And there's the latch installed. I just have that tacked in, and it'll be good like that till I get the body off, and then I'll paint that up shiny black like the rest of it. And it's going to work out good because on the inside of that bracket, it's going to face off the back side of that latch. So after I carve this out a little bit neater, all you'll see is a latch there, and there won't be an open space behind there, so that's going to work out good. And it works good. Works good. Shuts and opens. It's in there a little tight, so it don't exactly pop open unless I give it a little kick. And now I think I'm going to work on this, get that out. So when I set my glass in there, I put some spacers on here. And I'll keep those points, so when I mount that glass on there for good, I'll have, you know, a similar spacer in here along with the urethane glue. And I want this edge to match up with the glass so it's flush, as well as the rest of the door with the body. And we'll try and keep a nice even gap with that glass and keep a nice line so that fits in there real good. I've already had it sitting in there, and it's not going to be too bad. I just got to bring this out. I cut that post off, ground it down, and I'll go ahead and put some fiberglass in there, get that set up, and then I'll open up that gap the way it's supposed to be. I'll let this side cure up, then open up the door, do the inside. I got this glass sitting where it needs to be, evenly spaced underneath. Nice gap around the edge, flush here. It's going to look good. And now I got the post glass back on there in a little better spot. Now this is going to be flush with that glass. And it's going to be flush here, so when the window rolls up, these are going to be hitting at the same time. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and probably take that intrusion beam back out of there, get it welded up, painted black, put it back in, and then get the window to roll up and down. And I want to get the other door caught up to the same spot, so I'll probably be working on the other door too. But yeah, so far so good. Now I got a nice even gap all the way down. Opens and shuts with the latch in it. So making some progress.